My son's heard some of my jokes before. He knows my act, but he's never laughed. I tell him a joke and he'll go, I think probably older people will laugh at that. Yeah, I'm not nervous right now. I get nervous if I think a show's gonna go bad. You know what I mean? And I assume this better go good, so I'm not nervous.
Let's hear it for Doogie Horner, everyone.
Wow, this is an exciting night for all of us. This is amazing. It's nice to be here in Philadelphia. This is my hometown. Thank you. That feels good. Everywhere else I go and I say I'm from Philadelphia, and there's silence and then a few scattered boos. I always ask, why are you booing? Is it sports related? And they say, yes, we hate the Eagles or the Phillies. But one time I said I was from Philadelphia, this guy booed, and I asked, why are you booing? Is it sports related? And he goes, no, my cousin was murdered in Philadelphia. Oh, sorry. But was it sports related? Probably. Probably got stabbed by the Philly fanatic or something like that. Yesterday, I caught myself reading the back of a box of Q-tips. My phone had also just died. Does that ever happen to you? Your phone dies and you go through sudden content withdrawal? Like, must scroll, need cats. I grabbed a box of Q-tips. I was not disappointed. I found a bombshell on the Q-tips box right there in black and white. It said, do not stick these in your ear. What? That's what everybody's been doing with them our whole lives. That's what was I supposed to do? And so then they had this whole list of alternate uses. They were like, use them to clean your electronics. How many times has this happened to you? Oh no, my flat screen TV's all smudgy. Hand me 500 Q-tips. It was just a list of things you've never done with a Q-tip. They might as well have been like, put them on your sandwiches. It was madness. I thought, what is going on? So I looked into it. I found out what is going on. Some dude stuck a Q-tip too deep into his ear, and he was no longer cleaning wax from his ear. He was cleaning knowledge from his brain. Yep, there goes my name. Oop, there goes my first kiss. What's a dog? So he sued Q-tips, and Q-tips, in a genius legal move, lied. They're like, oh my God, they're not for sticking in your ears? Are you... What kind of weirdo, what kind of sick mind would even think of something like that? They're for teaching babies how to use chopsticks. You psychopath, they're for polishing rare coins. Why would you even... Genius move. Q-tips clearly got this idea from whatever company makes those really small Ziploc bags. You know, the super tiny ones whose only use is holding drugs. That's all this bag is for. But they don't want to get arrested for making drug paraphernalia, so they have to be like, oh my God, so many uses for our little zippies. 1,000,001. You know how sometimes you eat a whole bag of M&Ms, but you can't finish the last 3? You're a CSI detective. You're at a crime scene. You notice a suspicious toenail. Not a problem. We got you. Bam. You're about to fly to Paris. The TSA agent stops you at security. They say, oh no, your pet ladybug has to be in his own Ziploc bag. Mr. Spots is going to see the Eiffel Tower, because we got you. Boom, bag him up. It's a great idea. I'm surprised cigarette companies don't do that. Instead of saying cigarettes will give you cancer, their slogans should just be, don't smoke them. Marlboro, don't smoke them if you got them. Stick them in your ears. Oh, you look cool. You're real cool. Yeah, hell yeah. You can trust me, I'm the Surgeon General. My job is made up of two opposite jobs. That's not weird. It's always bothered me. Surgeons fix people, generals kill people. I at least want his advice to be more conflicted. I want him to be like, the surgeon in me says that cigarettes are bad for your health. But the general in me says, everybody's got to die sometime. So now I don't use Q-tips anymore. Now my ears are just dirty and crawling with bugs. I follow the rules. I'm a big rule follower. I love following the rules. I get a rush out of it. I'm going to admit to you a rule that I follow, and it's going to make you hate me. I follow the speed limit. Yeah, booze. Now the booze roll in. Where are you from? Philadelphia? Boo. Boo. Yes, I'm such a jerk. I apologize for obeying the law. My bad. I get why you're booing, but I do think it's weird. Usually people like it when you don't break the law. You don't murder somebody, they love it. You don't break the speed limit in front of somebody, they think, I would love to murder this guy. Nobody is on my side. Zero. Even my wife does not support me. One time she said, why do you do it? Like she just caught me kissing our dog on the lips. Why do you do it? I don't, because it's a law? Because I don't care about getting to the grocery store 1 minute earlier by driving like a maniac? Honestly, I think you guys are the crazy ones. This is what it's like. This is my perspective, okay? Imagine if you were at the grocery store, you're in line, you're about to pay for your food, and everybody in line behind you is yelling, just steal it! Stab the cashier and go! We're in a hurry! Come on, come on, come on! Unbelievable, this guy. Go! I've never met anybody that follows the speed limit. I met one person one time. I was at a party with some friends, and at the end of the night, a friend gave me a ride home. I had never driven with him before, and I noticed that he was following the speed limit. I was so excited. I had never met somebody like me. A speed simp, limit daddy, call us what you will. Member of the 55 Club. And so I said, I noticed you're following the speed limit. And he goes, oh, yeah, well, I don't want to get pulled over. I'm pretty drunk. Fantastic, great. The only time you don't break the speed limit is when you're already breaking another bigger law. Drunks, drug smugglers, and me. That's who follows the speed limit. Those are my peers. I understand why you don't take it seriously, though. It's not enforced seriously. Imagine if you were allowed to shoplift, as long as you shoplifted just a little bit less than the person in front of you. All right, he's walking out with 2 TVs. I'll just steal 2. I'll steal 1. I'll play it safe. Walk right past security. How you doing, officer? Yeah, I only got 1. He's got 2. Get him. Go get him. Go get him, Tiger. I only got 1 TV. I was driving in Vermont, and in addition to a speed limit, a maximum speed, they also have a minimum speed, which is how you can tell that Vermont has legalized marijuana. They need a speed limit and a weed limit. They need them both. So I try to follow the rules. Sometimes it's hard to know how, though. Like recently, my wife asked me to throw out a trash can. And it was one of those big jobbies, the hefties that you put out at the curb. This thing was cracked. It smelled like an elephant's graveyard. She said, this trash can is too dirty to be a trash can. Wow. The ultimate indictment. So trash night is Tuesday night. I put all the trash out and I put out the dirty can. But I realized, how will they know to throw it out? So I put a sign on it that said, trash. Because I'm a genius. Next morning, still there. Of course it was still there. They probably just thought I was showing them where the trash was. They were probably mad. They're probably like, yeah, we're not stupid. We went to trash school where they taught us one thing. Throw away the trash, not the can. We got it. Had to drag the can back inside. Week 2, I put it back out. This time, I put a sign on it that said, the trash can is the trash. Now I'm some kind of street poet, sidewalk philosopher. The trash can is the trash. Recycle your mind, recycle your body. Take your thoughts, wrap them in twine. I hope it made the trash men really think. Unfortunately, it did not make them think. Put this can in your truck. Still there. Week 3, I'm starting to get desperate. I feel like I'm trying to get rid of a body. I'm like, maybe I could bury it in the backyard, throw it in a lake. I started to do crazy things. Like, I tried to put the trash can inside a trash bag. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but those bags are the perfect size to fit inside the can, not outside. So I'm just stretching it with all my might, just skin tight. The black trash bag just matched every curve of the can. It just looked like a sexy trash can. We're about to go out to a Manhattan nightclub or something. The trash man still didn't take it. Finally, it's week 4. I just left it. I just left it out there. I gave up. I brought the other cans in. I left the smelly can out there. I just gave up. And the next morning, I was like, ugh, I better go get it. And I looked out the window, and I was shocked by what I saw. People passing by had started to throw their trash in the trash can. We were wrong. It was not too dirty to be a trash can. So I just left it out there. It's just a wild trash can now. It slides up and down the block. It's like a vigilante. It's cleaning up our town. A few days later, my wife was like, so did you finally throw out that trash can? And I looked out the window, and I could just see it in the distance. The sun was setting. A family raccoons was eating their dinner out of the trash can. And I said, no. No, I didn't throw it out. I set it free. And she said, what? Are you crying? Run free, little trash can. Find your pack. People always ask me, they go, is that trash can story true? And I'm like, nah, you kidding? What do you think, I'm stupid? Nah, I just threw it out, no problem. It's true, it's 100% true. 100%. I always want to ask people, how would you, if you had to throw out a trash can, how would you do it? What would you do?
Please take.
Please take. Oh, you put a sign on it that says, please take.
No.
And you think someone would take this dirty...
Not a trash can.
Not a trash can.
And then you put trash around it.
And I put trash around it. Are you an art student? Here's what you do. You take it to City Hall, you put it there, and you put a Joe Biden mask on it, and a sign that says government, and then it's this whole metaphor thing. I get this whole piece. Anyways, it's conceptual. You wouldn't understand. Honestly, though, I'm making fun of you, but your idea makes just as much sense as the things I tried.
You don't live here anymore, but everyone is very happy to see you.
I'm treated like somebody whose bar tab is still open. Like, oh my God, so great to see you. $300 and still climbing. We're so glad you came back to settle up. You drink so much root beer. So much root beer.
Philadelphia's a tough town. I don't know how I survived. I lived here for many years. I don't know how I made it. I don't know how my dog survived Philadelphia. I had a Shih Tzu. He should have been at Westminster, prancing around an oval, winning awards. He should not have been walking around Fishtown with me. He was an expensive-looking dog, and I know he was expensive-looking because one time I was walking him around my crummy neighborhood, and this kid on a bike yelled at me, "You yuppie! You dirty yuppie!" And I had never been called a yuppie before. I didn't know what it meant. I looked it up. It means young urban professional. That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said to me. I wanted to chase after him. Wait, tell my father! Young and professional, get back here, help me with my resume. Stop vaping, you little angel. Get back here. I lived in Philadelphia for many years. I lived in Fishtown. If you don't know about that neighborhood, it used to be pretty dangerous, and then a bunch of hip young people moved in, and now it's very expensive and fancy. I lived there like 20 years ago. I went back and I visited today. I couldn't believe it. There were all these like fancy New Yorker types, and it was all crowded. I was talking to this guy who was complaining. He goes, the parking around here is murder. And I said, you should have been here 20 years ago. Back when the murder was murder. And the parking was fantastic, honestly. So great. You could park right in front of your house and get out and get stabbed. Right in front of your house, right in front of your house! So Philadelphia's getting fancy. It's getting fancy. I was a couple blocks north of my old neighborhood. I was talking to this old guy, and he told me, he goes, this used to be the worst crack corner in the city. And look at it now. It's the best. I lived in Philadelphia for many years, and then we moved and we lived in New York City for many years, and then just this past year, we fled the city like cowards, and we moved to a super tiny town in rural New York called Alfred. It has been a big adjustment. New York City has 8 million people. Alfred has 5,000. New York City has more people named Alfred. And Alfred has people. I'm not even kidding. I looked it up. They have approximately 500 more Alfreds than we do. It's the type of town where everybody knows each other. I found it out my first day. I was walking my dog, waiting for someone to yell at me. I was not disappointed. This old lady saw me and she goes, "Oh, you must be the comedian." Was it in the paper? How did you know? I was even more surprised by what she said next. She goes, "You must be the comedian. Have you met the other comedian?" What? There are 2 comedians in one town the size of 3 Walmarts? This is not gonna work. Pretty sure I have to duel this guy. I think we have to duel, and whoever wins is then the town comic, right? Picture myself squaring off against him on Main Street. Like 2 gunslingers trading one-liners at high noon. If a redhead tells you a mama joke, that's a ginger snap. A futon is the saddest transformer, and his name is Futron. That is not what happened, of course. We just met and became instant best friends. Totally hit it off. We just hang out all the time. We're like 2 pandas in captivity together. I feel like everybody in town is watching us, waiting for us to do something funny or possibly mate. My wife is very helpful. Sometimes she's a little too helpful. Like, when I lose my car keys, her way of helping me to find them is she asks me lots of confusing questions really quickly while I'm searching. So I'll be looking under the bed or something, and she'll be like, "Why are you looking under the bed? Did you lose something? Oh, did you lose your car keys? Why, are you trying to go somewhere? Did you look in your pants pocket? Did you look in the kitchen? Well, where'd you put them last?" Where'd you put them last is my favorite question. Because it insinuates that I'm searching randomly. No logic. Like I'm just moving out in ever widening concentric circles like a Roomba. Where'd I put them last? Oh, I was looking where I put them first. Remember 10 years ago when we bought the car? And I hung them on that little hook in the vestibule? You think I should look where I put them last? That's my pocket. I don't see what that has to do with anything. Oh my God, there! Wow! I should have talked to you 5 hours ago. She's very helpful. Sometimes she's not quick enough, though, to save me from myself. You know how every now and then someone will write a tweet and they don't realize it's the tweet that's about to ruin their lives? Bring everything crashing down around them? I did that. That almost happened to me once. I wrote this tweet, and just remember that you like me. I'm a nice guy. I got a fan. I wrote this tweet. I said, I think being blind is less of a disability than being ugly, because I can think of lots of famous blind piano players, but no famous ugly ones. And nothing wrong with that. Nobody's gonna get mad at me. That's a fine tweet. They'll get a couple retweets, a couple likes. No one will get mad at that. My wife saw it and she went, ooh. Ooh. You might want to delete that tweet. And I said, what's wrong with your voice? And she's like, what are you talking about? Oh, choir practice got a little crazy last night. Blew my chords out singing Ave Maria. Anyways, might want to delete that tweet. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. And so I reached for my phone, and just before I touched it, it went bing. Oh, somebody must have just texted me. Bing, 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 bing. Oh, 20 people must have just texted me. Opened up Twitter. It was the tweet. It had only been up for a couple minutes. It already had 30 replies. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna get canceled. The New York Times is gonna write an op-ed about me. I'm gonna get fired from my job at the hoagie shop. My life is over. Oh no. I opened the tweet. I think being blind is less of a disability than being ugly, because there are lots of famous blind piano players but no famous ugly ones. And the first reply was, what about Billy Joel? Second reply, photo of Billy Joel next to a photo of Shrek. Third reply, the piano man looks like he's been hitting the keys with his face. Fourth reply, Billy Joel, Billy Joel, Billy Joel. Nobody was mad at me. Everybody was just mad at Billy Joel's parents. I was so relieved. Also confused, though. I was like, really? What? Billy Joel's not ugly. He's better looking than I am. Oh, I see. Ah, man. I thought I was handsome. Comedians are the opposite of piano players. Lots of ugly comedians, very few blind ones. It'd be hard to do crowd work if you were a blind comedian. You'd be like, what's your name, sir? Oh, I'm pointing to an empty table. How about, what's your name, sir? Steve, do you mind if I run my fingers over your face so I can figure out how to best make fun of your features? Whoa, you got a big nose. Toucan Sam over here. Mind if I give you a little squeeze to see if you're fat? You are. Lay off the Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam. Okay, I'm just kidding. Don't touch my dog. He's working right now. Yeah, Twitter can be scary. I mean, Twitter's a lot of people fighting and being arrogant, but it can also be a place of beauty and humility. You just have to look for it. Like, I found the most humble Twitter bio I've ever seen before. This guy's Twitter bio, he said, aspiring amateur writer. Oh, honey. Just call yourself an amateur. Nobody's gonna challenge you on that. Nobody's gonna be like, you call yourself an amateur? You stinking amateur. I bet you're a great writer. Your bio is already the saddest short story I've ever read. My wife and I, we got a dog a couple years ago, right before we had a kid, because we'd heard people say that a dog is a practice baby. And I think that is true. However, some people say that a cat is a practice baby, and that is not true at all. A cat is more like a practice person you're no longer dating. But you still have to share an apartment with. Do you know what I mean? Like, you broke up with 6 months left on the lease, and now they're trying to smother you in your sleep and putting dead mice in your shoes. You wake up in the middle of the night, they're just staring at you. crouched at the foot of the bed. I've been awake for hours. Just watching. It's true, right? Do you have a cat? Yeah. You're like, if you were a little bit bigger, you would kill me, wouldn't you? One time I told that joke and I was saying like a dog is like a practice baby and a cat is like a practice, and this lady in the back goes, asshole! I wasn't gonna go that hard. I was just, I think they're pretty. I do like to pet them. Yeah, we got a practice baby. And then one thing I didn't realize about being a parent is when you become a parent, you got to get new parent friends because all your single friends just skateboard away. Luckily, my best friend had a kid the same time as me, so we're just looking for one more dad so we can start a band. Hopefully someone that does not play bass, because we both play bass. Very hard to find a dad drummer. I don't know why. I think it's because drummers are more likely to abandon their children. Sorry. Sounds mean. Also sounds true. I'm pretty sure I could find a podcast to back me up. On the next Hidden Brain, percussion, commitment, drummers who can keep a beat but can't keep a family. Feels true. We could get a lead guitarist, but we'd have to open the band up to stepdads, and that feels risky. Shows up to practice in a Camaro, starts flirting with my wife. No thank you. We're 3 dads who play bass. We do parodies of Weird Al parodies, turn them back into the original songs. We're called Normal Albert. People love it. I have glasses, as you can see, unless you have glasses, but not right now. I wear my glasses are round. To me, they look like normal glasses, but I guess they're not, because last Halloween I dressed up as a vampire, but everybody thought I was Harry Potter. My wife wears glasses too, and we felt guilty when we decided to have a child because we're just weakening the human gene pool. Right? Like every generation, more and more people are born who have glasses or wear contacts because poor vision is no longer a biological disadvantage. Back in caveman times, if you had poor vision, you literally couldn't find a mate. If I lived back in caveman times, I would have been like, is that a girl? I can't, is that a girl? Oh, that's a tiger. I'm dead. Okay. It's a shame. Won't get to pass on these great genes. But now you just slap on a pair of glasses, you can see all the way across the library, find another weak-eyed Hufflepuff, fall in love. A bunch of left-handed asthmatic mole babies. I guess it's okay. I love being a parent. Sometimes people ask you, they're like, what's the hardest part about being a parent? And for me, it's when you have to tell your child some of the unpleasant truths of adulthood. Like I remember this one time, my son was 3, and we were about to sit down to dinner, and he was struck by this brilliant idea. I could tell. He got really excited all of a sudden. He was like, oh! And he goes, Daddy, I want to have ice cream for dinner. And I said, well, you can't. And he got mad. He said, I can't wait till I'm big. Because then I could eat whatever I want. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that I am lactose intolerant. I can't have ice cream for dinner either, kiddo. I also cannot have gluten for dinner. I also can't have anything spicy. I get acid reflux. If I eat fried food, my whole left side goes numb. My doctor says if I don't stop eating sugar, I'm going to get diabetes. Adults cannot eat whatever they want to. Kids can, and we don't let them. Because we're bitter and jealous. We're like, if I have to eat mushed bananas and Cheerios, so do you! Being a kid is hard, man. It's like you're learning new stuff all the time, and some of it is intense. I remember another time my son was 3. It was a big year for him. And We were looking for something to watch on Netflix Kids, and we found this game show called The Floor is Lava. It's a great show, right? These people are playing The Floor is Lava like you did when you were kids, but for real. Like it's a room, and they got to jump from a table to a chair to a lamp, and the floor is covered in this deep, bubbling, what looks exactly like lava. It's red, it's glowing. It's like a team of 3 people, and they got to get from one side to the other. It's really cool. And so I was like, oh, this looks great. I put it on for him. I went to the other room. I talked to my wife for a while. I came back about 20 minutes later, and I said to my son, how's the show? And he turned to me, and he said, there was this girl on the team, and they couldn't reach the rope to open the door, and she sacrificed herself. She knew she was going to fall in the lava. She jumped in the lava on purpose to save her teammates. She sacrificed herself. And I said, you know that's fake lava, right? And he said, no. And I said, did you think that was real lava? And he said, yes. And I said, that must have been a pretty intense viewing experience for you, huh? And he said, yeah. Oh my God, it's just people just falling in the lava, and there's an audience there clapping, an announcer laughing, cracking jokes. Jeez. For 20 minutes, that was reality for him. Being a kid is intense. It's even more intense because of the stuff we adults tell them. Like, do you remember when you were a kid and your mom would tuck you in at night and she'd say, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. And then remember when you grew up and found out that bed bugs are real? Terrifying bloodsuckers that feast on you while you slumber. Yeah, I'll sleep as tight as a guitar string, Mom. What are you doing? You tuck a kid in. You're supposed to say fake stuff. You're supposed to be like, maybe the Sandman will sprinkle some fairy dust in your eyes. You're not supposed to be like, sleep tight. Let's hope no burglars break in, huh? Could happen. Very real possibility. Let's sleep extra tight, son. My grandfather used to sing me lullabies at night. He was Irish, and so he would sing me these beautiful Irish lullabies. The only problem with Irish lullabies is no matter how beautifully they start, at some point they will take a hard left turn into tragedy. He would sing me these songs that were like, green ribbons on her dress that she wore on her wedding day. Green ribbons in her hair that shone like the sun. Green ribbons on her shoes when she danced with her father. But she froze to death on the barren moors of Kilcarney. What happened to the ribbons? She burned them for warmth, but it didn't do any good. Sleep tight. Don't let any spiders crawl in your mouth. I don't want Peapod to sing to me. He's always singing about killing the King of England. I don't understand. That's the only time an Irish song has a happy ending, when the King of England dies at the end. And we danced on his grave and it diddly on. Yeah, I come from an Irish family. They love to drink. I'll tell you my favorite cocktail. I take vodka and Kahlua, mix it with oat milk. I call it a very white Russian. I have this problem right now. I don't know if you have this problem. I see politics everywhere. I've watched too much news, and now I see politics even where I know there is none. Like recently, I noticed political division among the different types of milk expiration dates. Sounds crazy. I know it's not, this can't be true. It can't be there, but I see it. Let me explain. Okay, so most milk, the expiration date will say use by. It'll be like used by January 1st. This is the Democrat version of the expiration date. They're saying, hey, look, we care about your health. You are not allowed to drink this after January 1st. This is a milk mandate. But then some milk, it doesn't say use by, it says best by. This is the libertarian version of the expiration date. Because libertarians, they're all about freedom. They're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You don't have to drink this by January 1st. This is a free country, dude. You have the right to bear arms full of sour milk. You can drink it on the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd. Could I drink it on the 30th? It will not be the best. But that is your right as an American. And then there's my favorite expiration date, the Republican expiration date, sell by. Yeah. The sell by date's not even talking to you. You buy that milk, you get it home a couple days later, you're like, all right, sell by January 1st. Today's the 5th. Sell by date, can I still drink this? I don't know. I'll tell you this, though, you cannot sell it. I don't know anything about selling that milk. I wasn't going to. I'm not at store. Oh, well, then how did you get into my office? Wait, I need to... Is this going to make me sick? It might, but the economy will stay healthy, and that's what's important. Cash rules everything around me. Cream. That's about me, the sell-by dates. I was reading an article recently that said that Google was started in a garage. And I think that's supposed to be inspirational. It's supposed to make you think, hey, maybe I could start my own company someday. But I can't imagine owning a garage. Oh my God, I would stop right there. I'd be like, this is it, I've reached the top. Let's get a ping pong table in here. Never take the next step of building a search engine. I don't understand money at any level. I don't understand the Dow, and I don't understand pennies. Why are we... People are like, I don't know if NFTs are worth anything. I'm like, I don't know if pennies are worth anything. You can't... You try to buy something with pennies, people just get mad. Pennies are worth so little. I feel like if you have something that's about the size of a penny, you could probably use that as a penny. You're at CVS, they're like, that'll be $7.51. Okay, here's $7, here's 50 cents, and here's a button. Okay. It's a pretty nice button, actually. I think I might owe you some change. Here's 2 pumpkin seeds. I don't have much money, but people are always trying to get it from me. I tell you what, I wish my friends texted me as often as scammers do. Do you guys have that? Like 3 times a day, I get texts from people pretending to be Who's talking back there? Who was it? Come on, I heard you. Oh, it was the weird trash can guy. What a shock. Weird trash can guy. Usually I would let you do that, but I'm recording my album, so I'm trying not to have you on it too. We're not duos. You gotta say stop to what?
It says send a text stop.
Oh, that's what I have to do? Well, thank you very much, customer service. Could I speak to your manager? Hello? Walmart, you gotta text them. All right, well, thanks for the help, drunk dude. Security, don't kick him out, and you know what that means. I have heard comedians, I've never used that, but I've heard comedians say that before, like their code is, they're like, if I want you to kick someone out, I'll say, nah, he's okay. Nah, he's okay. Yeah, I wish my friends texted me as often as scammers do. Like 3 times a day, I'll get texts from people pretending to be Walmart or Amazon or Joe Biden. Doogie, if we're going to beat the Republicans this election, I need you to send $500 in Amazon gift cards to this address in Nigeria. Signed the President of the United States. There's so many people stealing people's identities. It's so bad that when you go online and you want to do some banking, you have to prove you're you. And the messed up thing is, sometimes you can't. I tried to log on to the IRS website. They said, "Oh, okay, Mr. Horner, not a problem. We just need to verify your identity. Do you have a recent pay stub with your name on it?" That would be nice. Recent pay stub, I should be so lucky. "Oh, okay, Mr. Horner, not a problem. Do you have your birth certificate? That piece of paper you gave my mom when I was 0 years old? Probably in the attic of our first home. I couldn't prove I was me. It was very frustrating. Today I got a text from somebody pretending to be my bank, and I said, would you mind stealing my identity and logging onto the IRS website? If you can get my stimulus check, I will split it with you." It's the paperwork. It's the paperwork. I can't handle the paperwork. There's too much paperwork everywhere you go. I went to a new dentist recently. I had to fill out all this paperwork. They had 3 whole pages of maladies. You had to check off yes or no. Do you have heart condition? Yes or no. Do you have asthma? Yes or no. And one of the questions was, do you have dental anxiety? Yes or no. Now, I've never heard of dental anxiety before, so I didn't know how to answer the question. On the one hand, I was afraid if I say no, the dentist would get it and he'd be like, oh, great, I can really go buck wild on this guy's teeth. This will be fun. I don't have to use Novocaine. Oh, I can try out that big drill I just got. But then on the other hand, I don't know, do I have dental anxiety? Like, that sounds like a serious psychiatric condition, like something you go to a therapist for. Doc, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but when I go to the dentist and he starts drilling holes in my molars, and I hear that wasp-like whine of the drill as it burrows into my skull and smell the distinctive scent of my own tooth burning, it makes me a little anxious. Yes, that is unusual. Most people find the dentist very relaxing, almost like a trip to the spa. I think you have the dental anxiety pretty bad. Let me ask you something. Your mother, did she ever spank you with a toothbrush? Sometimes, I mean. So I crossed it out. I wrote, I am a normal person who hates going to the dentist. Check. Nobody likes it here. We all have dental anxiety. You're a psycho. Being a doctor is a tough job. It's an important job. Everybody respects them, as we should. Every now and then, someone will say, you know, I think teachers should get paid as much as doctors. And then someone else will say, you know, I think, you. I think no. I think teachers are mean. Teachers are like, you have to go to school. Doctors are like, you don't have to go to school. I'll write you a note. Stay in bed, watch a movie, and here, take these drugs. Have fun. Get a lollipop on the way out. You're a good kid. If we paid doctors as little as we pay teachers, you would notice a lot more similarities between those two jobs. Hello, I will be your substitute heart surgeon for today. Usually a podiatrist, but what is the heart but a weird foot? I have to bring my own medical instruments from home, so I will be making the first incision with a pair of toenail clippers. Here we go. We don't value education, man. Here's how low we value it. At my school, the gym teacher also taught sex ed. Did you guys have that? What are you doing? Why? Why are you skimping on the one class we were all guaranteed to use? I have never used algebra. I've used sex ed 12 times. Thank you. Our abortion/dodgeball instructor this guy two equally important subjects. You got to cover them both. This guy was a 65-year-old, never been married, ex-hockey coach. He knew nothing about the opposite sex. He literally said one time, you know, sex is a lot like hockey. No, it's not. You're doing one of those very wrong, and I don't know which scenario is more terrifying. My God. I sort of think they had him teach the class for his benefit as well as ours. Okay, Larry, you need to read this textbook out loud in front of a room full of witnesses. Fair enough. Chapter 1, sex. Canadians are great at it because there's nothing else to do during their long winters. Oh my God, it is like hockey. That's it for me. That's the end of my... No, yes. Thank you for coming out. Good night.
Hiring a jazz band to play. Where'd that come from, dude?
I used them on my last album too. I just wanted to do something special, and I don't like that at the end of the show, because you're recording, they drop the checks at the end, and then the people just got to sit there, or there's like another comic on stage. Nobody wants that. Just pay a band to play. And it's nice when people walk in. It's just a nice vibe. My second album is similar to my first album, but it's maybe a little more conversational and maybe a little more performance-y. I think early in my career, I thought that I had to be deadpan, but that's what I did. I thought like yelling was hacky, but it's just fun to yell sometimes. This special, I do my comedy crouch. I get to do the comedy crouch, and I do this at one point, so it's a little more, I get into it a little bit more. This was the first place I ever performed. I did an open mic here on a Tuesday night, I forget how many years ago, and I didn't tell anybody because I knew it was gonna be, I assumed it was gonna be bad. And I get there and a bunch of my friends were there. And I was like, what are you doing? It's gonna be bad, I'm gonna bomb. And they said, I know. They're like, we wanna watch you. And then I did fine, I had a good set. And they were like, oh man. I talked to them afterwards and they like, it was good. We moved out of Philly maybe 10 years ago, and then we lived in New York City for a couple years, moved back to Philly for a couple years, moved back to New York City, and then the pandemic hit, and we fled like cowards to the woods. Being forced to stop doing stand-up made me realize that I was kind of addicted to it. Like I had an unhealthy relationship. Like I was doing stand-up partially because I needed to, because I got used to the validation, the constant validation from strangers. And because I was so used to just like, this is my thing I do, I'd forgotten. I was kind of like, do I actually like doing stand-up? Or do I just do it because this is what I do, because this is what I'm used to? And so when I stopped, I was able to start again, and I was able to realize I do actually like just doing it. I'm not just addicted to the dopamine hit of people, strangers laughing at me. I don't know, a lot of people didn't like the pandemic because a lot of people died. I thought it was great. I loved it. It's like such a jerky thing to say. It's like, oh, your grandmother died? I kind of like the pandemic. I don't know. Call me crazy, but it's a great vacation. I liked it.